Okay guys, so like we talked about, we're gonna all get in the stack. So we're gonna make, Ren, you're gonna be number 2. Mike, stop playing with your gun. Put your phone away, please.
I got work to do.
That way, we're facing towards the door. That's where we're going.
I thought I was number 2.
Okay.
Bob, is this a good grip?
That's a terrible grip. So we're focusing on safety. Mike, you keep playing with your gun. Hey, Dirty Harry, chill. Keep your finger off the trigger. Off the trigger.
Are you sure?
You can go with the high port or you can go with the low port. A little too high, we'll bring it down just a little bit. There we go. Wow, you are into it. What's gonna happen is, Mike, just like we talked about, you're gonna swing around. You're gonna be looking for your team. Not at the door, you're gonna look for your team.
I'm gonna go right here. I'm gonna help.
Nope, you can't do that. Okay, ready? Open the door. Now, we're gonna go slow as we go in. Kapow! Bang! Boom! So, yeah, that's why we don't do that. I think we need to go back to our team building exercise.
I'm not really dead, Bob. I can still kill the bad guy.
Boom!
Oh.
What's up, you crazy cats and kittens? It's your friendly neighborhood Bob for another Bob at the Board. And today we're talking about what should you be training on for SHTF, for the bubble about to pop, for all of the bad things that every YouTuber is clickbaiting you on right now. We want you to be the most prepared, and so we want to have an honest conversation as to what you can be working on realistically within your means. And don't worry, this doesn't take extra money. All right, so with that, there's 3 main things that we're gonna focus on today, and all of them are team-centered, team-centric, right? So the first one is team building. You have to know who is on your team. And a lot of people think about, the mutual assistance group with all of their brothers, man. No. Stop. Let's be realistic. Let's be honest. You may have a 7-year-old, a 13-year-old, and a 15-year-old on your team because that's who's in your family. And that's very, very important for you to be honest about as a prepared individual, as a mom, as a dad, as a grandma, as a grandpa, whoever you are. You have to be realistic about who is on your team. And then after you build that roster out, right, you know who's on your team, you have to set some goals and say, who do I want on my team? Well, I know such and such at the doctor's office is a really cool person and we align in faith and they may have some different skills and resources than I have. I'm gonna set that as a goal. So that way you can start working on those people to be on your team, making sure that you have both horizontal and vertical alignment, that you're on the same page and you're all tracking on what's going on in the world right now as it gets weirder. And so after you start really focusing on your team building, you're gonna move down to team tactics, right? Now, when people hear team tactics, they think of tactical movements and all these things. Well, that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about something more realistic, a little bit more, everyday applicable. And that's, how do you and your team move or work together currently? Is there breakdowns in communication? Are you guys on the same page? Are you able to do simple tasks like some garden work or taking down a tree or helping your community together right now while times are good? What we do know for a fact is that when times get more stressful or more challenging, you're not magically going to be able to work together. So working out those hiccups inside of your team tactics, we know that John is really good at being a leader, and so John's going to be a leader. And we know that Jake is really good at support, and so Jake is going to act as a support and an admin for John and his leadership. Whatever that may be, working out some of those team roles and how you guys move and work together now is really important. And that goes into, how do you want to be able to move together? If you want to be able to structure things a certain way, if you guys want to be able to communicate a certain way, if you guys want to be able to ascertain the ability to manage certain tasks together, setting those goals and having some clear vision forward is going to be huge for your team's ability. The next thing is going to be your team skills. And this is really where we dive into, what is your team capable of right now? What does your team already know? And this is a really fun thing to do because you may learn some things about people on your team that you didn't know. Oh, Susie's really great at suturing. Susie, I didn't even know you knew how to suture. That's crazy. She might be really bad at it, but still, her having that drive and that little bit of base knowledge, that's something you could build off of. So take an inventory as to what your team already knows and they already do. And then off of that, you're going to build, right? What do you want to grow in? What do you want to learn? What do you want to continue to build your knowledge base and build your proficiency in, whether that be in the medical sense, whether that be in the food preparation and then agricultural sense, whether that be, in human relations and community relations, all these things that really tie into an important preparedness network, right? So many times inside of preparedness, it's bug out bags and it's food storage, but it needs to be much bigger than that. We need to be building prepared communities, and that goes into good teams putting in good effort around good people. And so when you're doing these exercises, and these are truly all exercises, make sure that you're being honest. If I give you one piece of advice, it's going to be to communicate. Talk, hot wash things out, discuss these topics, share and be vulnerable in the sharing, and right? Have continued communications about what your team is, where you guys want to go, and how you want to grow. And you guys are going to have to do a couple of small things inside of each of these 3 team exercises. One is you're going to have to set goals. You absolutely have to set goals whenever you're working on a problem with a group of individuals. Otherwise, not everybody knows where they're going or how to drive in that direction. After you set these goals, and I recommend both short, small, easy goals and some long-term advantageous goals, some short and some big, right? So after you set these goals, you're going to make a plan, right? And this could be, as detailed or as broad as you and your team feel is applicable right now. But you have to make a plan, and then you have to work that plan, whatever it is. And what I recommend is that you guys make a plan, work a plan, and if the plan fails, great. You've learned a bunch about the planning process. You're going to be that much more stronger moving forward. And as you do these things, setting these goals and making and working a plan, you're going to keep evaluating. Because what you don't want is stagnancy, right? Because where you are now, in your team building, in your team tactics, in your team skills is going to be somewhere different down the road. But you still want to keep evaluating who you want on your team or who is on your team or how are we moving together and how are we working together? What do we want to be able to do together? And then what do we currently know and what do we want to learn? A team is constant growth. It's constant forward motion. And in these uncertain times, it's absolutely paramount that you continue to learn, that you continue to grow, and you're continuing to work better together. An army of one is an army of none. One is none. 2 is 1. And so with that, understand that if you have 2 pocket knives, but you're a lone wolf, you're not going to do well. You have to continue to build a team out. And it might just be you and your spouse, or you and your kid, or you and your dad, whoever right now. But understand that the first step to solving the problem is admitting that there is one. And forward momentum is better than no momentum at all. So if you guys have questions or if you have comments, throw it down in the comment section below. We love to hear back from you. Let us know what you're doing right now to build your team out, to make yourselves more strong, to make yourselves more capable, because that really is what the Refuge Nation is about, building a culture of people who want to save lives while in service to the Father's kingdom. We love you guys. Please carry your effing team with you.